So I can't imagine how exciting the world must have been when humans just started to figure things out. Like you walk around and you find like black rocks, and if you hit them with a piece of antler, you can break them, and all of a sudden you can start shaping them, and it turns out they're really sharp, so you can like stab the woolly mammoth, or you can make a small one and throw it with a piece of sinew into the saber-toothed tiger and make obsidian into arrows and spearheads. And like the cool thing about obsidian is it's just on the ground. Like if you were like a Mono Indian, you would just like walk around, and in the shadow of those volcanoes in the Sierra Nevada, there was just obsidian everywhere, and they were like, holy crap, this is so handy. And they got advantage over other people, and they ate better, and they were able to trade obsidian for other resources, so they could get tar or abalone for jewelry or whatever. And I can't imagine anybody thought about waste disposal, right, for like a long time. Like early in the petroleum industry, when the petroleum seemed endless, it's like, oh my god, dude, just make it out of plastic. You can throw it out when you're done. And you would just see these things like on the side of the street, and like people didn't like it on the side of the street, so they would like pay somebody just a really small wage to drive it over the hill and dump it behind the mountains where nobody was living. So like early landfills were just piles in the dirt somewhere. And if you've traveled outside the U.S., you've seen these piles in the dirt, I'm sure, a number of times. Sometime in the 60s or 70s, the hippies started whining about the water and like the air pollution and the biodiversity. So we started to regulate those piles of dirt, and we made all these federal standards in the U.S. anyway about how to manage dirt. If you want to see how to manage trash, if you want to see the alternative, you don't have to travel too far. Whenever I go to Baja, there's basically this one road that you drive all the way down to the tip. You can take it all the way to Cabo. It's called Highway 1. It's the road. And on the side of the road, you can just see like just piles of trash. And if you're like at a hotel and you put everything in the trash can, somebody comes by and they empty that trash can, and you're like, oh, the guy's taking out the trash. Because like I live in California, that stuff goes someplace clean, right? And then that guy at the hotel in Baja who takes out your trash can, he just loads it into a truck and drives 15 minutes out of town and just goes to a turnout and throws it on the side of the road. There may be sanitary landfills somewhere in Baja, but so far I can't find anybody who knows where they are. Lucky for us, by now we've got this super regulated, and we've even started recycling stuff. Like when I'm done with this LaCroix, my girl's gonna crush this thing and exchange it for a nickel, and this will get made into airplanes or car doors or something. But there's a lot of people and not a lot of rock. I mean, there's not a lot of dirt. We're all over the planet. There's really not a lot of parts of the planet that we haven't already started to scratch at. So it's not like we're going to encounter huge volumes of aluminum all of a sudden. Like, the aluminum we can get, we pretty much know where it is. And either we've already got it or we're getting it now. But there isn't like more aluminum that's going to hop into our economy. And there's more and more people who are using aluminum every day because the economy is growing, because populations are growing, the development is increasing, quality of life goes up all over the world. People deserve that. So there's this movement to get toward a zero waste economy. The idea that we gotta, at some point, we gotta stop digging the stuff out of the ground and then putting it back in the ground in some useless form. Um, Zero waste is the only possible answer. Like, it's just a mathematical certainty that if we're making stuff useless and burying it, we're gonna run out of stuff. That's not an opinion. I mean, unless you think that there's like always gonna be another way to get more stuff. Like the logistics of getting it out of asteroids or other planets is just not reasonable. The cost of transit makes resources impossibly expensive. Like if the moon was made of diamonds, it wouldn't be worth it to bring them. And so zero waste is the future. We got to get to that at some point. And everything we can do to take waste out of the waste stream is a good goal. So I got a few study goals coming up that will help define those possibilities about waste. Um, uh, we're going to talk about integrated waste management, which is using a little bit of everything. I'll draw you a diagram that you can copy, and I'll try to hold it up to the screen for you. That will be study goal 19. Number 20, you can copy out of the book. Number 21 is just some definitions. I think the book is fine. You can ask me in class if you need help with number 21. Number 22, I'll make you another little diagram, and we'll talk about the parts. 23 is in your book, I hope. 24, I'll explain in another little video section. Probably you can get number 25 out of the book if necessary. Yeah. Then I think we'll be good with this unit. I'll be back with another video in a minute.